Welcome to Your Author Platform podcast with John Friedel. Do you find yourself investing a great deal of time and energy into writing your books, yet struggling to reach enough readers? I understand how you feel, and I'm here to help you change that. If you're looking to boost your momentum, connect with your audience like never before, and become more profitable in ways your fans appreciate, today's episode will confidently guide you forward. Hello, authors. It's wonderful to spend time with you for another episode of the Your Author Platform podcast, which I host every few days to help you connect with your audience, boost your book sales, and ultimately enhance both your lives and theirs. I hope to positively impact your life today so you can better connect with your fans. In case you missed it, on my last episode, I went over how to begin growing an audience from scratch. I hope you enjoyed listening to my last episode as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Today's episode number 11 discusses 7 steps to an easy website setup. Having a website is essential for entrepreneurs. If you create it yourself, you won't need to pay someone to manage it indefinitely. You won't always have that bill. Fortunately, it's not as difficult as you might think. If you have a website, you will need to purchase its address. If you know all about websites, I'm sorry to make this so simple, but some people don't. So you need to purchase its address. It's analogous to owning a home. First, you need an address, and then you can build something there. There are 3 URLs you need to purchase: your business name, your book title, and your superhero name. Now, my business is John Friedel /LLC or LLC. So I own johnfriedel.com, johnfriedel.net, and johnfriedel.org. You'll want the URL ending in .com, plus you want to prevent anyone else from getting .net or .org and using them for nefarious purposes. Purchase it now for like $12, and it'll never be a problem that you'll have to deal with in the future. Do not purchase a URL with dashes unless it's your book title. You want to purchase a URL ending in .com of your book title, and that, like I said, can have dashes. This URL will most likely be attached to your website. It won't be a website itself necessarily, but attached to it. So anybody who went there would go to your main webpage. Basically, anyone typing it in will be redirected to your main homepage. Next is your superhero name, which probably will be your main website. All other URLs you own are redirected to it. My main website is yourauthorplatform.com, and I own the .net and .org versions. You want a descriptive URL that is easy for fans to remember. Alternatively, you could make your main website your name, like johnfriedel.com. However, this is an example of shooting yourself in the foot. Doing a descriptive website URL makes your business far easier to start, but highly successful businesses perform better using their own names as brand recognition. So start with one, switch to the other later, to your name later. You can purchase these URLs from various providers, but I prefer GoDaddy.com since it doesn't really matter where you acquire them. I would prevent URLs that are already been, I would avoid URLs that have already been taken. URL suppliers may offer to negotiate for taken URLs, but attempting to acquire them from someone else who is reserving them for such a purpose can be problematic. People are just sitting on them, and they're waiting for you to come along and make it, for them to make a buck. And or maybe they're using them. So it's one way or another, unless you really want to, it's kind of a waste of time. And I have a suggestion for a gift, not a GIF. Gift. Get the URLs for your children's names. When they are older, they'll eventually make great birthday presents. Imagine the look of surprise in their eyes. Oh, I went looking. Somebody stole it, and or somebody took it, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did. Here you go." So next is Uh, now that you have a website where your website resides, now that you have a URL, you can put a website there. There are many ways to do this, but I advocate the cookie cutter approach. Let's make it easy on you so you don't have to upgrade it later or pay endless fees to a webmaster. First, you should purchase a framework. I'm going to be using terms you may not know or you may be very comfortable with, but there's a framework on which you would build your website at your URL. So this framework, there's Astra, there's Genesis. I'm using Astra now, but I've used Genesis in the past. Second, you will need a theme to go on that framework. If you have the option, choose a premium theme. You won't be using all of the options, but they're in that theme, but you will eventually turn them on at a later time. And it's easier than to do that than it is to then purchase a premium theme when you bought a simple one. Okay, so many themes are available. Review them to see what you might like. It's not about color, which you'll determine yourself and we'll discuss next. Rather, it's about style. Your theme will include many features, most of which you will not use right away. At a minimum, you'll want a theme that supports a blog for your website articles. Everything else is adjustable. Once your framework and theme are installed, you can start experimenting with the appearance of your initial website. Your first decision is to pick a color scheme. Take your time and consider your primary color, perhaps consulting an artist friend or searching the internet for good choices. There are many colors you could decide on. A lot of them mean something. You can read books about how Starbucks chose its green color because it makes you want to have a coffee. Or red to make people angry, or blue to make people think. Your secondary color must also be chosen, but that's pretty easy because it's usually on the other side of the color wheel from your primary color. Again, these might be Google searches that you'll need to look up. Other fun things to decide are your preferences, like available fonts and types of buttons. So, number 3, necessary website pages. Your next step involves 3 pages, which are slightly different from posts. These necessary pages are your homepage, privacy policy, terms of service, and your about page. In order, from the top of your homepage, the structure of your homepage, enter sections for your channel name, your value proposition, which is mine is connect with fans, build your community. So basically a 2-sentence, 1-2 punch sort of deal for the value proposition. I'll have more on that later. Purpose statement. What is it that you're trying to, in like a paragraph form, what is it you're trying to, so that your audience knows once they get past the value proposition. But value proposition should be all they need, but purpose statements are a good next step. And then what you offer, perhaps as your product stack, not the full-blown landing pages. We'll talk about that'll be later, but basically what you offer, your most recent podcast episodes. It's something that just sort of fills up once you set it up the first time, and then below all that is your latest website pages, maybe the last 6 or the last 9. All sections except the podcast and article sections are static and unchanging. Unless you make a change, the podcast and article sections will automatically update, which is a standard feature with most themes. The privacy policy and terms of service are legal documents. You could generate them using a free service. Those are available. However, I highly recommend contacting an internet lawyer to design them specifically for your business. To save yourself some money. The about page is a short description of your business, not you. You'll have to write an article about you. But mine is about John Friedel. But about your author platform is at the top of my webpage, and that is a description of the business, my motivations, what's going on with all that. It is optional, but it is optional to include this. But you might consider getting a picture of yourself. That would be a good idea. A portrait, perhaps. something professional? Maybe. It depends on what your topic is. Number 4, the footer. The footer is very important. It's at the bottom of every page except the landing page. At the bottom of every web page is a footer, which is identical to all pages and posts except for landing pages. It'll need the following items shown: contact information. What is your email address? What is your phone number? Not your personal phone number, but perhaps a Google Voice, which accepts text messages. A Google Voice number. Your social media links, not necessarily all of them, but the main ones that you are using, which may change. You'll have a contact page where you might put all of them, but that's something different and optional. Then of course you'll need to put a copyright notice. 2025 C with a circle around it, copyright johnfriedel.llc, because that's the name of my business. Your contact information should include your business address. Make it a P.O. box or a UPS store, not your home address. Email address, telephone, and text phone numbers. It's hoped that your business address is not your home address. Until your website launches, you'll need to use a Gmail email address or something similar, which you'll switch to your business website as soon as possible. That's something that you get when you purchase, that you can pay for when you get a website, is now an email address that's your working address. So I have john@yourauthorplatform.com, and that's because I have that website. Utilize the Google Voice service to create a phone number in your area code. The goal of having a functioning phone number is to present yourself as a legitimate business. While you may receive only a few calls or texts a year, I have 52,000 subscribers on my other website, on my other business. That's the YouTube channel. But I did that last. I started my website first, and I get a lot of traffic there, and I get 1 or 2 calls a year. But it's so reassuring to people, and that's the point. So the copyright notice is copyright followed by the year your business started, a dash, and then the current year, copyright 2024-2025. And your official business entity name should follow. For legal reasons, it is advisable to include the statement, quote, "As an Amazon associate, I earned from qualifying purchases," either before or after this notice. Okay. Number 5. Collecting emails. Your website is a valuable business asset. Email addresses also represent another significant business asset, potentially worth $100 each if collected properly. My other business, well, hang on, I'll tell you about that. To effectively capture emails from your audience, you essentially need 3 things: a lead magnet, email subscription list provider, and a subscription landing page. A lead magnet is a gift offered in exchange for your fans' email address. It can be a 1-page PDF. Most of the time, when I create an email magnet, it only takes about 30 minutes. It will you too. It's easy. Just what 3 or 10 things should your audience know about? What would help them? That's it. Make a list. Create that list and generate a PDF version of it. The list can include anything relevant, even if it doesn't belong to you. Over time, you will greatly enhance your lead magnet. It might become a 30-page ebook, but it doesn't have to at first. 1 page, just give them what they need. Email subscription providers include MailChimp, Aweber, Drip, and Kit, formerly called ConvertKit. They changed recently. Switching providers can also be a hassle, and I've done it, so I know. So I recommend Kit. You should just go directly to the best, right? Your subscription provider can help you with a landing page templates for your website subscription page. You don't need to design everything yourself. These landing pages don't have menus at the top or footers at the bottom on them, so that the viewer has fewer links to click other than the offer highlighted. Lastly, create a post template that will never be published. Its purpose is to save you time and remind you of every element you'd like to have your website articles to include. These sections might consist of title, introduction, embedded video, embedded podcast, article sections, 4 or 5, a summary, related articles, previous and next articles. Now, some of these uh, uh, bullet items that I'm mentioning here are to help your search engine optimization, like the previous and next articles. You want everything connected. So yes, after each article is written, you will create a long form video and a podcast episode. These sections serve as placeholders until you learn how to produce both. Don't worry, I explain how to create them in other articles. I suggest forming paragraphs of 3 sentences each, limiting yourself to 4 or 5 paragraphs per section. However, as demonstrated with this article, exceptions do exist. It has 7 sections. So yes, exceptions will occur. Every 3rd paragraph should include a button linking to your subscription page for email sign-up. By placing them at this interval, one button will always be visible on the screen as readers scroll through your article. Initially, you won't have any related articles to share. However, over time, you'll be providing them with every article. For instance, this article currently lacks related content, but will soon include 2 articles about creating long-form videos and podcast episodes. Eventually, it will feature a comprehensive list offering additional articles on each section, complete with extensive detailed descriptions. The last section is to the previous and next pair articles is crucial for search engine optimization, as I mentioned. As search engines crawl your site, it is vital for your success that every article is discoverable. They crawl from one article to the next, so there needs to be a link to all articles on your website. And the easiest way to do that is put a next and a previous on each article. And so your initial article links to the next article once it is written, and each subsequent article links to the prior article and upcoming articles as they are published. Okay, it took me 3 days to put together and launch a website. However, there was a lot of new things that had happened in 7-8 years. I am a technical guy, but a lot had changed. But I already had legal documents from my internet lawyer, which had taken about a week to receive. These 3 days also include some details not covered in this article, such as logo design. Once you publish each page and article of your website online, visit each page and post. It's not when you just create the website, but whenever you create an article or page, go check it. Look at it on your phone, on your computer. Look on it with your phone. If you don't have a way to look at it on your phone, go to a computer browser and go to look at it in a computer, and then make that window smaller, drag it to it smaller. And as you do that, it'll slowly transform into a tablet format, and then making it even smaller will transform itself into a phone format. I don't know if you know about this. And that will allow you to take a look at what it looks like if you don't want to look at it on your phone. About half of your viewers will watch from a computer screen, while the other half will watch from a phone. This topic is not covered here in the process of setting up a Google Analytics page. These analytics will provide information on how many viewers are using each type of device, along with a wealth of other information, how many Android, how many Apple, that sort of thing. As a fair warning, several items are not covered here. Menus will be placed at the top of your website, but there are only 3 to begin with: an about page for your website, the name of your primary category, and a contact page. 2 major items are not addressed here: your online shop and plugins. Your shop will be discussed later once you have something to sell. Plugins are a detail associated with your website framework and theme. Congratulations on launching your website. You're on your way now. In summary, you now have a website that you created yourself. Congratulations. Now get started and write some articles for your website. Remember to visit Remember to visit yourauthorplatform.com/subscribe to receive my free report revealing the top 3 essential tools for enhancing your connection with fans, including the one I've used as a nonfiction author and influencer. I'm looking for community examples. If you have a favorite example of a author who has responded to their community in a way that's admirable, please let me know. It might be you. Please let me know, and I'd like to highlight that on this podcast. The next Your Author Platform podcast episode will include another presentation on an essential topic for authors looking to connect with their fans and build a thriving community. If you have questions, feel free to email me at john@yourauthorplatform.com. Here we go. If you have questions, feel free to email me at john@yourauthorplatform.com, and I'll do my best to respond. If you have more than a few questions, consider booking a 1-hour one-on-one consultation at yourauthorplatform.com/consult. My calendar has limited openings, but some are still available. I look forward to working with you to answer your questions. That's the end of another great episode of the Your Author Platform podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I plan to release the next video very soon, and I'll have more amazing content for the show. Until then, connect with fans and build your community. Bye.